Welcome to the Political Matrix News. Politics, people, local, regional, national news. Political Matrix News keeps you informed. We have the sources, we have the truth from inside the Political Matrix.
Hello, we're back. This is Greg Fink here with the Political Matrix News broadcast, along with Scott Miller. And we're just following up here on some other topics here real quick about some election surveys that are going out. Scott, go ahead and tell us about an election survey you got last week.
Well, I did get an election survey last week, and it had a lot of different references in it. One of those, some of these surveys you can tell they're trying to get data about who someone supports, but a lot of times they're issues to a certain extent, or they're at least just trying to test some messaging.
Right.
And the one that I got, talked a lot about a county commissioner who had, if you knew that this guy had behaved a certain way. Actually, oh God, don't I still? I think I still have those. I think I still have this survey. Come to think of it, because I screenshotted just every darn page.
Sure you did, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, come on. Oh, here we go. Demographic. Okay. If the primary, so who would you call? Primary election undecided. Following information. Yeah. Okay, so although he claims to be a fiscal conservative, a local county commissioner voted many years in a row to increase county budget by over 200% to $750 million. Local county commissioner, so how would that make you more or less likely to vote for him? A local county commissioner publicly, as he wanted to eliminate requirements to publish property tax increases. Local county commissioner helped real estate developers circumvent the county planning process. Local county commissioner used the Escambia County resources at his disposal to pursue a lawsuit where only he would personally benefit. So, I mean, all these questions are message testing questions.
Right.
They're looking for how well received. If we use this in our campaign, how well received will they be? And I can't say I know who ran the poll. I mean, it could have been another candidate. Sometimes other interest groups will run it in support of the candidate without the candidate's knowledge.
Right.
But it's interesting that this survey ran, and then literally 2 days later, there's a paperwork error excluding one of the candidates from the race. So
Now,
I'm not sure what the thought process is there.
What's interesting about this is that out of the county commissioners in Escambia County that were under investigation, and this one I'm talking about, 2 of them have no opponents for the race this year. So they're basically just walking right in without any type of opponent whatsoever until the general election. That being said, the only one who actually is an opponent right now is no longer a county commissioner and is the supervisor of elections. What's his name? Robert Bender.
Robert Bender, yeah.
And so Robert Bender is the only one that would be talking about that's currently running for office, or actually has opposition right now. And he is running against the Bruce Childers. And Bruce Childers' wife is the one who is actually pursuing those charges against Robert Bender at the time, because she's the clerk of the court, meaning that she's in charge of all the finances for the county, and she's making sure that all the retirements and everything else are done above bar, and all the negotiations for contracts are done above bar, and everything else, and everything is done correctly. And the survey comes out the next day. Bruce is removed from the from the ballot for a paperwork issue. The next day, after this poll hurt somebody's feelings or offended somebody in a manner to which, hypothetically or possibly,
well, I don't know if there's an actual connection to these two things. It is a remarkable coincidence.
It's a hell of a coincidence.
But I don't know. I can't say that there is. But the bad part about it is the optics. Because personally, with the reason that they excluded him from the election, I think is actionable. Under in court, and I think there's a pretty solid chance of getting this overturned. But, and that being the case, now whether he had anything to do with it or not, whether he had anything to do with, whether this had anything to do with the poll and someone having Robert having his feelings hurt, or it had anything to do with Robert trying to use a technicality to exclude a thing. Whether or not that's true, it doesn't matter because now the perception's there. And if Bruce gets back on the ballot, I think there's a good chance that he will get back on the ballot. Then now Robert literally created an issue for his opponent to go against him with, and honestly, it's a pretty credible issue, I think. So I think the decision making here, could not be worse. But it is what it is.
It's Escambia County politics, baby. I mean, we have a lot of interesting races going on in that county. And actually, for people who don't know about it, the northern end of the county only has one race on the primary ballot. That's a school board race. And that's it. And so, I mean, the turnout throughout the whole county is going to be very interesting for the primary. And so I think these guys are just hedging their bets and throwing out these coincidences. I have no idea. I mean, this is speechless almost. I mean, this is just so bizarre.
I mean, it really, in my mind, it was a bad decision on Robert's part. I mean, personally, if I were in Robert's position, I would have made a big deal about helping my opponent correct that mistake, because that makes you the magnanimous big guy and the guy that's it gives you an air of trustworthiness and integrity. Says you may be my opponent, but I'm going to make sure you're treated fairly.
Yeah, and that's not the case going on right now, or at least
regardless of whether or not that's who Robert is, and I do believe that should be who Robert is. I mean, the Robert that I know, that's who he is, but that doesn't matter now. At this point, the perception's going to be out there, and if Bruce gets on that ballot, he's going to have a heck of a fight on his hand, or Robert's going to have a heck of a fight on his hand.
And that's going to wrap it up here for tonight, and we will see you guys here tomorrow with a few other people here on the show, and have a good evening.
Have a good evening.